How's it going, everyone? It's that Blue Up Off here, and welcome back to the channel and another video. Now today, folks, I do have another car review for you all, and I hope they just keep coming, which is awesome. I never get bored of these types of videos, but today it's going to be a little bit different. So I've not just got one, no, two cars for you guys. That's right, people. I've got two to review in one video, which, oh, I can't wait. This is going to be awesome. Now, what are these two cars, you're asking? Well, how about we take a look? Because today we have the Lexus GS 300, but it's not just one. Like I mentioned, it's double trouble. Two in one video. I've never done this before, but I'm going to try my best because, well, these are two absolutely rare cars, sort of unicorns within the Lexus brand. And if I was to talk about Lexus, your mind would instantly think of the cars that made the brand so popular, such as the RCF, the LFA, the IS200, and the LC500. And if I was to ask people to name a few Lexus models, I imagine these, the GS300, wouldn't come up very often. So it tells you how much of a rare car this really is. And well, this is my first time seeing one in person, so it's quite the opportunity for me. I'm really happy and excited to review both these cars today. And without any further ado, let's not waste any more time and get on to these two awesome cars. So these are both very cool cars indeed, but they both have different trims, specs, and, well, one is modified while the other is tidy and stock. So we get to see both examples of these cars today. And there are many cool things that these cars have, but definitely the most interesting part about them is the engine, because under the bonnet we have a 3-litre 6-cylinder 2JZ. And that's right, people, the same engine that is used in the Toyota Supra. Now, if you weren't aware, Lexus are owned by Toyota, so some of their cars do share similarities with each other, whether that be design, components, trim, and even in some cases, they might actually be the exact same car. For instance, the Sora was sold by both Lexus and Toyota, and nothing changed between the two. The only thing that was different was the badges. So there you go. You can see that sometimes you might get something spicy under the hood, depending on what model you buy from which brand. But as you can see here, the 2JZ is very present. Now this one doesn't have an engine cover, and this one does. And I've been informed that it's actually quite a rarity to see the engine cover on the GS300 because everybody wants to display the amazing 2JZ. And I don't blame them, because this is a pretty sick looking engine, and why wouldn't you want it to be on display, especially at shows and stuff like that? I mean, there it is, the 2J in all of its glory. So we are currently pushing 226 horsepower to the rear wheels, which is a nice healthy figure for a car like this. As for MPG, it's a little bit on the lower side, around 22, but to be fair, that's not too bad at all, especially when you consider the V8 that you can get in these as well. Now the V8 is present in the GS 430, and I believe it was an import only. So if you wanted the V8 version of this car, you'd either have to get the GS 430 or you'd have to get the import. Now the V8 does have a little bit more power, but the MPG is obviously a lot lower. So 22 MPG for the 2J is not too bad at all. I'd be happy with that personally. But everything else in here is pretty much standard from what I can see. We do have a K&N sticker though, so that tells you we are running a K&N system, which I can't fault it. I myself do love a good bit of K&N action. But as for this one, it is completely stock. Though you can see how tidy the original stock engine bay is. I mean, the silver one is also very tidy under there as well. And to be honest, both cars are very clean examples, so there's not really that much to point out about them. of course, the modifications on the silver one is something we will be going over. And I do apologise, guys. Reviewing two cars at once is definitely going to be a task, but I'm going to try my best for you. But this one right here is completely stock. We do have the engine cover with the very nice Lexus badge on top. No K&N sticker, but hey, that's fine. Completely stock and tidy is sometimes not a bad way to go. Both of these cars are naturally aspirated, so I imagine there is probably room in there to fit a turbo. Can you imagine one with a supercharger? That too would be pretty sick. I mean, has anyone done a supercharged 2JZ? Who knows? You have to let me know in the comment section. But these two right here are naturally aspirated. But that's fine. Sometimes naturally aspirated cars are fantastic. But like I said, imagine them with turbos. How crazy would that be? Right then, it's time to talk about the aesthetics. And I must say, this car is a pleasure to look at. Now, of course, back in the early 2000s, Mercedes were on top when it came to elegant luxury vehicles. So it was only natural that a few other brands decided to, well, not copy, but
Bruh.
you can see a few Mercedes features here and there on Lexus models, which isn't a bad thing because all of them look fantastic for having that Mercedes type design. With the headlights, they definitely do remind me of the later W212 Mercedes E-Class, which I really do like the way they did the split headlight design. And well, to know that this car had it back in 2002 is pretty awesome. But talking about the rest of the front end here, we do have quite a long bonnet, which, well, elegant cars usually do. And it's very, very tidy and clean. I like the way that these lines go into the front grille, and the front grille itself is not too big, but it's a nice size. We do have, of course, the Lexus badge on there too, letting you know that it is the elegant brand that it is. But, of course, with this one being a modified version, on the bottom of the bumper here, we do have a really cool looking front splitter. I really do dig that. It adds a bit to the front end, and I think it really completes it. We do also have some, I believe they're optional extra washer jets on the bumper too. Over to this one, we can see there is no washer jets or front splitter, but that's fine, because this is the stock variant, so we get to see how it looks out of the factory, and I must admit it is really, really nice. I do really dig this colour as well. Now, for you Lexus guys out there, you probably do know the fancy name for this paint. I believe that one is just called Silver Metallic, but again, you guys can probably comment down below what the fancy names for this paint is, but I just sort of going to call this dark blue and metallic silver. Both are really nice colours though. I think these are the best colours you can get on these cars. I mean, I really do dig it. I think they look great in this colour scheme. I'm also loving the fact that they are colour matched on the silver one, the wheels, the way the wheels are silver and the paint is silver too. That is sick. Oh, you don't really see that nowadays, but I'll talk a little bit more about that in the wheel section. Going back to this one though, as we can see, we do have the same design and all that. These are only a year apart, so they're pretty much similar. But of course, like I said earlier, this one is the stock variant, and it's very nice indeed. Just like the silver one, elegant, luxury, very nice indeed. With the darker paint as well, you can also see some more of those chrome pinstripes and detailing. Of course, with the silver one being silver, the chrome kind of blends in a little bit. But on this, you can definitely see all those chrome details, which gives it more of that luxury feel. We are at the side profile, and as you can see, this is quite a long car. But like I mentioned earlier, elegant and luxury cars of the day were quite big, like the S-Class and the 7 Series. This one also follows that same thing, but I really do like the shape and lines of this car. Very smooth, which is also what I like about those early 2000s luxury vehicles. There's nothing too crazy going on, but it's just really, really smooth and, well, sort of wonderful to look at. Because of course you have all of those nice shapes blending and combining together to make a really nice styling for the side. You can actually see more of the chrome on the side profile as well by the windows and the B and A pillars, which is very cool to look at. And I do quite like chrome styling. I mean, some of you guys out there will probably be 50-50. You either like the cars being blacked out, or you might like the standard chrome. I mean, on the Abarth, I still do have the chrome on the car, though I think in the future we will be going back to carbon, but we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm quite liking the chrome on this car. Sometimes I think, oh yeah, that would look good if it was carbon or blacked out, but this definitely suits that chrome for sure, because of course we do have sort of a light theme going on, and well, we have to talk about those wheels. So here we are at the wheels, and the colour matching is awesome. Like I said a few minutes ago, you don't really see that nowadays. I mean, a lot of cars will just have different coloured wheels, but I really do like the paint matching. I think it's such a cool thing to have. My favourite combo used to be white on white, and I actually remember seeing that on the Abarth that we did quite a while ago, which was fantastic. That thing was so cool. That was a proper modded Abarth, and that had the white bowlers matching the Gara white paint. And to see that again, I do love it. Now, these are Japan Racing JR12s, and they sort of have a bowler-esque design to them, or the TE37, which is the original wheel. But I'm digging the design. I think it looks awesome indeed. We do have the Japan Racing center cap there too, which is a nice addition. And the whole wheel setup here is great. We have some big discs as well. And overall, this is fantastic. I do like the addition of the silver cap there too, for the valve. That's really nice. And as for the tyres, I think we just have some standard normal tyres, but that's fine. You know, not every car needs Michelin's or top-notch Pirellis. I'm sure these are absolutely fine. Though I've got to admit, that last video where we did the Polo GTI Plus, semi-slicks on the back was insane. That was so crazy. But coming back to these, like I said, this is fantastic. I love the design of this. It's sort of got a deep dish effect going on, and the colour matching, again, is epic. So the wheels on the blue one now, and I believe these are the standard wheels, though we're not too sure. We did have a discussion as to whether they might be or not, but if you guys out there do know if they are, then feel free to leave it in the comment section down below, because we're not sure if these are the OEM wheels or if they're aftermarket. Either way though, the 5-spoke design really does suit the car, and of course, with this one being more of the stock approach, I think it definitely works. Of course, with the silver one being modified and having all its extras, the JR12s definitely work with that one. But I'm liking this. We've got the Lexus center cap in the middle as well, which I love when people do that on aftermarket wheels. But again, like I said, don't know if these are OEM or aftermarket, but if they are, I do like that. That's a thumbs up from me, that's for sure. Now, as for the size, I believe these are 16s, so this car must ride lovely. It must be a pleasure to drive this thing, because, well, these roads are sort of atrocious, so you're going to need a nice ride to withstand it. But I imagine with the suspension combo too, it must ride like a dream, like a Rolls Royce. Lovely stuff. So here we are at the rear end of the GS300, and I've got to say, there's a lot going on, but I'm liking what I'm looking at. So of course, just like the front, we have the split design for the tail lights as well, and sort of reminds me of the IS200, but this is definitely the more grown-up version of the car. Coming down to the bottom half of the bumper there, we do have some nice big exhaust tips there, dual exit on the car, which is always a very cool thing to have. I'm really liking the design of this car. Very smooth at the back here, and the bumpers are really, really nice to look at. We do have parking sensors, which is very interesting to see from a car of this era. Now, whether this is a paid option or not, I'm not too sure. Though most cars nowadays, parking sensors are an optional extra, just like on the Abarths. But optional extra or not, it's very nice to have those. Especially in bigger cars, I find that it's very difficult to park them and drive them. So having that aid by your side is very handy indeed. There's even an aerial on the side of the bumper too, which sort of reminds me of the Toyota Century. That's a cool little addition. Didn't even see that up until now. You see, everything's the same on this one as it is on the silver version. Big exhaust tips at the bottom, split lights, smooth bumpers, but you can definitely see the chrome details a lot better on the darker paint. And we do also have a nice silver pinstripe on the bumper too. So on the blue one, you can see a few more details, but the silver one is so clean at the back too. I don't have a favourite today, guys. I really don't. I love both of these cars. Each of them have a very unique twist onto them. This one is very tidy and standard, factory OEM, and the silver one is a nice modified take on the car. But clean as you like back here, and OEM too, which again, big thumbs up from me. So there we go. There are the rear ends. It's now time for a cheeky sound test, because we can't not include a sound test, guys. Is it a That Blue Abarth car review without a sound check? So people, I know this is the part you've been waiting for, and you ain't got to wait no longer. It's time for the sound check, and we're going to do both as well, so you get to see modified and OEM. But let's have some 2JZ goodness. Oh, there we go, some 2JZ goodness. That's what I'm talking about. You can definitely smell it too. Good stuff. Let's move on to the OEM. Ready? There we have it. That's what you get out of the box from the factory. And to be honest, that sounds really, really good. I mean, I'd be happy with that if I was to run it. Oh, and again, you can definitely smell the fumes, but it's a nice smell. So now let's move on to definitely the, well, nicest part of the car, and that is the interior. Before we sit in the interior and do a proper review, I just wanted to show you this really cool feature with the steering wheel that I haven't seen in absolutely ages, but it's so, so cool. So basically, we just put the key in here, make sure it's the right way. And look at that, the steering wheel moves to the position it was last set in. That is so awesome. And like I said, I haven't seen that in absolutely ages. That is such a unique feature. So I'll get you on the mount that's in the car and we'll review this very luxurious interior. Here we are in the interior of the very luxurious GS300. And I just want to say a massive thank you to the owner who lended me this very cool phone mount. I mean, this is perfect. You can see all of the interior. I might have to invest in one of those myself. But as you can see, it is so nice in here. I mean, we have all these really high quality materials which really make this car. And wow, the layout is super nice too. And we've got this really nice dashboard here, the center console, a leather glove box, which is super, super nice to have. And we also do have quite a few optional extras. So we'll start off with the steering wheel because, well, like I showed you a minute ago, it has that awesome cool feature, which I've got to show you again. I just have to. So key in. That is so cool. I mean, wow. Oh, what else can I say? But that is awesome. And if you take the key out, it resets. Man, I can't get over that. That is so, so cool. But coming to the rest of the interior now, the main theme with this is leather. There's so much leather in here. And oh, you can smell it too. It has a very expensive smell to it, and the seats that I'm currently sat in are also trimmed in leather, and they are gorgeous to look at and also very comfy. I mean, I've sat in a lot of car seats, but these and the E-Class seats that my dad has are some of the comfiest I think I've sat in a while. I mean, the color as well is gorgeous. Actually, I was going to say wonderful. I couldn't say that then for some reason. I think I'm just in awe of this interior, guys. But I think gorgeous is the word to use. Maybe it's a little bit big of a word, but I think it's definitely the one to use for this interior. It is just gorgeous. The leather, the color, the smell, and the wood trim as well is fantastic. I actually do remember seeing this wood trim in my dad's what was it? I think it's a W203 C-Class, a gold one that he used to have ages ago. Also had this similar wood trim and leather layout. So it's bringing back memories, and I imagine it will for the legend himself too. But it's such a nice place to be in. It's very spacious too. But what I'm liking are these dials. They're very sporty looking. So you do get a slight touch of sportiness within this interior too. And it's the steering wheel here, the emblem, sort of looks like a center lock on like a Porsche or something. Really dig that. But it's such a lovely steering wheel to handle as well. Not too big, not too small. We do have some buttons here that say down. I'm not too sure what that means. I imagine the owner will know, so I'll put that on the screen during editing. We have so many features. I think the clocks are one of the coolest parts about it. But talking of cool, we do have this optional extra, which is a digital touchscreen. So it has sat nav and everything that you need to have on this car right just there, right in front of you. And there's so many buttons as well. So there's plenty of features on this touchscreen. But man, I am in awe of this interior. I really am, guys. I apologize if I struggle to say anything or, stumble upon my words. It's just so nice in here. Everything's so high quality. And there's not a single cheap thing in here. There really isn't. We do also have a sunroof, which opens all the way up, and that is also so cool to have. I mean, you can see up from the top there, and I love full sunroofs and opening panoramic glass roofs. My dad has the E-Class with a full opening pan, which is just crazy to have. You get to see out into the sky and everything. Very awesome indeed. I'm sorry again if I'm using all the same words like I did last time, all the same adjectives like cool, awesome, nice. I mean, there's not many other words to describe these cars, guys. There really isn't. But really like that. And you can pull back this very expensive feeling cover too. I mean, even the cover for the sunroof is made from something quality. The back here as well also has these leather seats, and everywhere I look is just leather. It's crazy. Even the mats are sort of like this, I don't know what to describe it as, but it's sort of like a leather feel to them, and Lexus is also embroidered into it. Wow. I have been informed as well by the owner that there's quite a few buttons. There is a snow and sort of like a sports feature via these buttons. And we do also have a very luxurious looking 5-speed automatic gearbox, which you control with this really cool looking gear stick here, also stitched and made out of leather. The rest of the dashboard here, or center console rather, is also finished off in that gorgeous wood trim. I do love that it's brown as well. That's so nice. I mean, everything is so high quality. Nothing is, you know, tappety or cheap. It's just full of high quality, expensive materials. So you really do get a I guess an image or a vision of how luxurious these cars were even back then. But apart from that, let's hop from this one to the next one. Here we are in the other Lexus GS 300, and just like the other one, this one is just as luxurious. Now, we do have all of the same leather trim, but instead of leather seats and upholstery on the rest of the interior, we do have sort of a cloth material, which is just as nice actually. It feels really nice to run your hand over, and the seats are just as comfy as the ones in the other GS. I mean, the cloth material is quite nice to feel. I mean, yeah, these are just as comfy, I would say. In terms of how supportive they are, I mean, this isn't exactly a sports car, I guess. So if you are ragging one of these around a track, then one, you're very brave indeed. Kudos to you. And two, I imagine they're probably not very supportive, but in terms of how comfy they are, 10 out of 10, top notch. So same layout, same everything really. The only differences are that this one does not have the sat nav or touchscreen. It has the digital radio, which is just as good, I would say. You know, it has everything you need. It might not have sat nav, but the phone mount that the phone is currently sat on is used right here at the windscreen, I imagine, for Google Maps and everything else. So that's not a big issue. Clocks and everything are the same too, which are just so cool. I can't stop looking at them. They are really, really handy and pretty sick to have. We do have a little hoodie on the gear stick on this one as well, which he looks very cozy as well, very ready for the winter. Same 5-speed automatic gearbox in this one as well. Don't know actually if they do a manual of this car. I don't believe they do, but it's just the 5-speed for the moment in these two. We do have a passenger princess seatbelt pad as well, which, well, there you go. And we do also have a very familiar seatbelt pad in this one. You guys recognize that? I definitely do. These used to be in the Abarth, and I actually sold these to the owner of this GS 430. 330, sorry. I don't know why I'm saying, not even that's 300. Where am I getting 430 from? I'm still thinking of that V8. But cool to see those in this Lexus. They were originally going to go in a Mark 1 MX-5, but now they're in the 300, which is so cool to see. But yeah, so really nice interior in here as well, just as luxurious as the other one. We don't have a sunroof in this one, so it is just the cloth roof lining, but everything in here is just as nice as it is in the other GS 300. We do have the same mats as well, but these don't have the black stitched Lexus badge. It's just the same colour as the mats, but still really cool as well. We do also have a theft deterrent design button here in the middle of the radio or the center console. Not sure what that's about. I guess there's a special feature to help the car from not being stolen. So safety features too. What more could you want? Apart from that, really I'm digging the design of this interior, just as comfy. And we do also have cruise control too. I do also want to apologize. for last video of the GTI Plus, because I did actually say that the car didn't have cruise control, but it was right there on the steering wheel, staring me straight in the face. Don't know how I missed that, but I do apologize for that. GTI Plus does have cruise control, and so does this. Very nice indeed. That would be great to have on a motorway and stuff like that. You get to cruise on the motorway with your lovely GS300. So there we have it. That's the interiors reviewed. Let's get back outside to, I guess, talk about my final thoughts. So there we have it, everyone. Two absolutely awesome GS300s in one video. I can't believe I was actually able to do that. That was definitely different, something I've never done before, but hey, it was a challenge, and I always welcome a challenge. And I think I was able to do pretty well. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, I really enjoyed reviewing both of these awesome cars. You get best of both worlds, OEM and modified, and both are just as nice as each other. I really love the approaches that the owners have taken with these cars, and I believe that the owner of this GS4 300 right here will be modifying it and changing it in the future. So who knows, we might be getting another video with the dark blue GS300 when it's all modified and changed, which will be interesting to see what is different in the future on this very awesome car. But as for the silver one, awesome stuff indeed. The modifications are really tasteful and definitely work with the car. The front splitter, the wheels, the exhaust, very nice additions indeed, and overall the car works so well. But as I said, both of them are just as awesome as each other. So if you guys would like any more car reviews in the future, whether that be single ones or double car reviews, you know, two at once, which was definitely interesting to do, but I really enjoyed it, and other videos too, like Cadwell Park modifications, more videos on the Avant, you know what to do. Hit that bell, like, comment and subscribe, all of that good stuff. And well, I'll see you in the future, guys. Have a good one.